Hey, I would say good morning, but good afternoon. This
Hi
is
there.
Mike.
Hi,
This is
Mike.
Mike Owen.
How are you, Mike?
Oh, doing real good. Good to see you. Thanks for doing these, Jamie. Really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
And I'm sorry I missed the SEO thing. Is that something that you can buy and view like as a separate item?
Not yet.
Okay, it should be, yeah, because it's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Well worth it.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm thinking about my online life going forward at the moment. So got lots of ideas, but I want to get it right before I communicate them, really.
Well, let me let you know that I will be of no help at all.
Thank you very much. Does that mean financially and morally?
Oh no, I can spend money and then not use the stuff. I've been doing that for years, but
Cool. Okay, that's the perfect customer. Great stuff. Right, it's 4 o'clock. Hello, everyone. Welcome. So I'm going to, because there's quite a few of us, I'm going to mute us. I'm going to mute everyone by default. But if you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask me at any time. I'm going to run, because I've actually had quite a few email questions as well about the webinar. So I'm going to run but another session next week, I think, if I can fit it in, which will just be a Q&A session. Which I'll invite questions to that before, but we'll also take some on the day. So that'll be about an hour, I think. So because it's quite hard to answer all everyone's questions. As before, I'm recording this, and I'll email you either tonight or early tomorrow morning the link to the recording, and any slides that you see up on the screen. I will also send you a link to those as well. Does that sound okay? Can everyone see my slides up on your screens?
Yep.
Yeah, great stuff. So I'm going to mute you. I'm going to mute you now. Sorry. But if you have any questions, either unmute yourself or just stick it in the chat. Hopefully you can see there's a group chat. Feel free to stick it in there. I might not be able to get through them all today, but if I don't, we'll go through them next week. And for those that emailed me, some of them, they're great questions, but they're probably a bit detailed to get through because we're a bit short on time today. Right, so this session's all about how you can use WooCommerce together with Gutenberg. And so I have an agenda, which is exciting. So this is what I'm going to take you through. I'm going to show you, actually, before I start with this, the main reason to do this stuff is three main reasons. The three big benefits that I want to sort of keep in your heads as I go through these, and those are, by doing the stuff we're going to learn today, you're going to be able to create a better design for your sites, and importantly, a unique design if you want to. So that should give you a real advantage over your competition, because generally a lot of WooCommerce shops look the same in terms of the key pages that we're talking about today. And those are the shop page, the individual product page, and the category page. Generally, those pages look the same. There's small differences. Most WooCommerce websites tend to look the same. Now, obviously, if you can create a better design than your competitors, then that's going to give you a good advantage, hopefully. So that's the first thing to keep in the back of your heads. The second thing is there are some distinct SEO advantages, search engine optimization advantages, if you can have more control over these key pages. Okay, so those are the two kind of big things in terms of what hopefully you'll learn out of this session. And then following that, I mean, the most important thing is hopefully you're going to sell more. Okay, and you're going to be able to create sites that both reflect your businesses more accurately rather than a generic WooCommerce website where everyone's looks the same, and you're going to make more sales. So that's kind of the whole point of this whole process. Cool. Okay, so just to recap, for those that missed the first two sessions, in December 2018, WordPress version 5 was released, and it included a brand new editor called the Block Editor. And I think most of you came on those first two sessions, so you'll know the point of the Block Editor is that you can create nicer looking pages. That's the whole point. By the way, if you did miss any of those first sessions, I've put them available. The recordings are available, and they'll be available on the link I send around, the same link that I send around to this one. And then just to recap, blocks can be mixed and matched to customize the content of any page or post, and product. That's the new bit that we're going to learn how to do today, or one of the new bits that we're going to learn how to do today. So that's where we are with blocks. Right. So I want to spend most of the time today showing you stuff to hopefully, again, give you some ideas and some inspiration of what you can actually do on your website. So I've built a demo website that I'm going to use to show you how I did it. But we're going to start with WooCommerce Blocks. Okay, so we're not at the moment we're not using any plugins apart from WooCommerce. So with WooCommerce now, you may not know it, but you actually get a whole bunch of blocks that you can use on your sites. Okay, they are just part of WooCommerce. It's called WooCommerce Blocks, so they're just part of the core WooCommerce. So if you're using WooCommerce, you'll have these, and I'll show you a few of them in a second. This is also available as a plugin, a bit like Gutenberg is also available as a plugin. And the plugin generally is a couple of steps ahead sometimes of what's in the core WooCommerce. And I'm going to show you some of the things that are coming up into core WooCommerce, which are going to be quite exciting. Okay, and I'm just going to show you a few of the blocks that come with the kind of core WooCommerce stuff. So this is the site I've built. Let me just talk you through some of the things I'm going to show you how to do. So this is the front page of this site. By the way, before I dive into blocks, just so you're aware of what theme I'm using here and what plugins I've used to build this site. The theme is Storefront, which is the official theme from WooCommerce. It's built by WooCommerce. It's my favorite theme for building e-commerce websites. It's free. It's very lightweight, so it's a great theme. And it's built by WooCommerce. So it has some really nice things built into it, like, which are kind of e-commerce-y. Like if I reduce the size of this, can you see how I've got this little fixed footer at the bottom here with a shopping cart and things like that? And it's got some other nice touches in it as well. But the main reason I love it is because it's lightweight and fast, but you can customize it. And to customize it, we've used one of our plugins called Storefront Pro, which lets you do all sorts of whizzy stuff like change the layout of it. That's how we get this nice design. But within that framework, we're using blocks. And on this page, we've got a few WooCommerce blocks that I want to show you. So the first one is this one here. Can you see this, what our customers say section? That is using the review block that comes with WooCommerce now. It lets you pick out any reviews from your customers and place them into any section on your site. Now I've put them in this example on the home page, but you could put them anywhere because they're blocks. You could put them in your shop page or in a blog post, anything you like, okay? So let me just log into this site and let me show you how these work. Okay, so when you go to create a new page now, as I'm going to do. Now, at the moment, I'm just creating a dummy page. When I click on the plus sign to open up the block library and scroll down the block library, we will see here, can you see we've got WooCommerce blocks? And in there are a whole bunch of blocks that you can use on your sites. As I said, these are just part of WooCommerce now. So for example, you can handpick products. This block here, that lets you handpick your products here. Let me just pick 3. So these are the actual products that I'm going to choose. You click done, and then those products will just appear here. Okay, which is kind of cool. And then over on the right, you've got some customization options to do with these blocks. So you could change the number of columns, for example, just like that. Okay, let's take it back to 3. And then over down in the customizer over here, you can do things like turn off the product title or the product price or the add to cart button. Okay, hopefully you get the idea. And because of course they're blocks, we can put any text around them or we can put them anywhere we like. Let me just show you a few of the other blocks that come with WooCommerce. Okay, so this is the review block, the one I showed you that I put on the home page. You just click on it and that's going to bring in the reviews here. And again, over on the right here, you've got options to customize it. So you could do things like have the product name on or off. You could have the reviewer name on or off. You can choose to have the product image or the reviewer photo. Now I've reviewed all these products, so it's me showing. You get the idea. And you can change things like you can hide this order by option here and just turn that off. So that's quite a nice block as well. I'm just going to show you one more block, which is quite nice. So a lot of the blocks in WooCommerce tend to look kind of the same, but they'll create a grid of blocks. They'll just allow you to kind of arrange them differently, I guess. One of the ones that doesn't look the same is this featured product. That's quite nice. What that does, well, let me show you. It lets you feature your product like this. Okay, Let me publish this to show you. Now you could choose which product to feature. You get the idea? And then when they click on that, it'll take them to that product. So there's a whole bunch of WooCommerce blocks that you can use within your sites. Let me just show you the library again, what's in here. Okay, so you've also got some filters which let you filter the products. I'm going to show you a slightly more elegant way to do that later. But you could do things like featured products. So in WooCommerce you can feature products in the background, you can star them. That's just going to pull those out and bring those into that space. But they will generally look like a normal sort of WooCommerce grid. So they're great as far as they go. And they can certainly complement your sites, no question. Okay. So just be aware of those WooCommerce blocks. They can be really, really helpful. Right, let me go back to the home page. Okay, next up I want to show you something a bit more exciting. So one of the key questions I've been asked over the years is, can you customize the WooCommerce shop page? So it's one of your key pages on your site. The shop page on your site is normally automatically generated by WooCommerce for you. So you don't really have any control over how it looks. And it will generally look, so I've got this site here, which is just running normal storefront theme. And this has a shop page. So this is kind of the generic layout of a lot of store pages on people's websites. And it looks fine, but it doesn't really add any extra oomph to your page, and you have no real control over the layout of this. Every person that's using the WooCommerce site, they'll all look like this. But if you want to have more control over that, you can. So here's an example of one that I built to show you what's the sort of thing that's possible. Okay, now this page has all been built using blocks again. I'm going to show you how I did this and then how to set it as your shop page. And you'll see, because I can lay this out how I like, I have much more control over the design of the page. So I can make it much more in keeping with my brand, whatever your brand would be for your shops. So I've got this nice sort of masonry section up here, which is showing my categories. And then down here, I've got this nice carousel, moving carousel. And then further on down here, we've got this sales countdown block, which lets you run a sale and then have this nice countdown. Again, the great things about these is you're emotionally telling your customers that there's they need to get on with buying things. And then we've got this other section here, bestsellers. And then down here, you can actually put some, you can actually add some stuff about your brand in this case. And then finally, at the bottom of this one, I've got this call to action section, which is join our mailing list. But these are all blocks. So this whole entire page is being built using blocks. Now, again, because we're using blocks, we could use any blocks within here. But we are using a lot of blocks from a plugin of ours called Storefront Blocks. And one of the main things Storefront Blocks does, it lets you create a shop page, and then when you set that as your shop page in WooCommerce, it will actually use that shop page. Let me try and explain that bit first. So normally, if I went off and created a new page here, this is just another site, a dummy site, and I call it Jamie's. Let's call it Jamie's Shop. And I put some text in here, and I put some products in. Let's put some WooCommerce products in. So let's do handpicked, and let's just choose a few products. Oops. I'll do. So I'm not worrying too much about design at this point. I'm just trying to show you what would normally happen. So at the moment, that's just a page that I built. It's not my shop page at the moment. And you see it's got a few products on. But what normally happens with WooCommerce, when I go into WooCommerce and set that as my main shop page, which you do here, you go to WooCommerce settings, and then products, and then this screen here. This is where you set your base shop page of your site. So if I set that page as, let's try and find it, Jamie Shop. So there's my page I just built. If I set that as my shop page, what will normally happen, because I've set that my shop page, oh, let's go and find the right page. WooCommerce will override it. So it won't actually take on, let me view it. If I scroll down, can you see how it's added all the extra normal stuff that the WooCommerce would normally add here? So I don't have complete control over this is what happens with WooCommerce. You have your stuff at the top, but then it just chucks in all the new WooCommerce stuff down here. What this plugin does, Storefront Blocks, that we've built, it means that when you create this shop page and you set it as your shop page, let me show you here. If I go to WooCommerce, WooCommerce settings, which is here, and then products. When I set that page as my shop page, let's do that properly. Let's get the right page. So that's called shop. Yeah, let's go and set that now. It won't override, WooCommerce won't override the page that I've built. You see there's my page. And can you see at the bottom that it doesn't chuck that extra stuff in. And that's what the plugin does. It lets you create that unique shop page and set that as your shop page. Now it's important, this setting in WooCommerce is really important. This setting here, because you might think, why can't I just create a page and add it to my menu and call it a shop? Well, it's important because all the links that go back when you're going through the checkout process go back to that page. Okay, that's why it's important. There's lots of other places that link to that core shop page within your site, from your cart pages and from your checkout pages. So it's a really key thing to be able to do, to be able to customize that key shop page. Let me just show you.
Jamie.
Sorry, say that again, Stuart.
Could you use a redirect?
You could use a redirect.
It's a bit untidy.
A little bit untidy, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. Yeah, I'll come back to you on that, possibly, because we do that with the way we do categories, but it's slightly different.
Yeah, okay.
Right, let me just show you how this page was built, though, in terms of the blocks that I used to build it. If I go to my new shop page, which is this one. Now, the other thing, when you're creating your shop pages, be aware that when you set them as your WooCommerce shop page, you won't have access to them up here, because this is a WooCommerce thing. You lose the edit page thing. So to actually edit this page, once you've created and set it as your WooCommerce page, you have to go back to the dashboard and go to pages, find the page that you set as the shop page, and it'll actually say here, this is the shop page, and you click edit here. That'll take you to the edit screen. So don't get too confused if you can't see it in the admin toolbar. Right, so this is how I built this page. The first section here is just using one of our blocks, which is, we call the Masonry Product Category Grid. And a lot of these blocks are part of our Storefront Blocks plugin. If I just come to Storefront Blocks here, it is, which one did I say? It's this one here. Sorry, yeah, that one. Okay, and it's going to bring your categories in. And again, you can choose which categories to show over here. And you can change the layout. Lots of choices in terms of the layout. You can change the row height. See that? You can change the grid gap. So you can squish it or make it wider. You can change this label alignment here, which is this bit. And you can change the text size on that. That's maybe too big. You get the idea?
That is so smart.
It's cool, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah. So let me just remove that. So that's the first block. Okay, that's that one. And then down here, we've got another block, which is the product carousel block, which is just another block that comes with Storefront Blocks. Let me show you this. It's this one. This one here, product carousel. Okay, and again, you just add it. and then you choose your products to show. You just pick them here, and they'll appear here. Okay, and again, you've got some options over here to do things like whether you want to show the price or not. So yeah, it's now showing the price. And you can also filter by category. And again, you've got your layout options over here as well. So lots of options to customize them. Now, further on down the page here, let me just go back to view page so you can see what we're doing. I better hurry up a bit. Right, yeah, this section here, this is the shape divider block, which I showed you guys last week, which is part of our Caxton plugin. This is a quote block. And then this is a sales counter block. Let me just show you that. Hit back, which I wouldn't recommend you doing, just for speed. So we've built a block which is called the sales counter block, and which is this one here. Let me just show you how this works. It's just another block, so it's very easy to use. It's this one here, Storefront Blocks, sales countdown, this fella here. And this is where you set the end time. So this is a countdown to when the sale will end. So you just put in your date, you can change the time here. This is your heading. We've given you this option to add some text under the counter, but can you see how the counter is appearing here now? And then you can also set a background, either a color or an image. Be really quick. Do this one. So you can set this background image. It won't show until you change the opacity on that background image, which I will do here. You see how you can change the opacity. Now again, I put this not the full width, but the full width of the margins. You could put this in columns again if you wanted to put a grid layout and then put just this counter in one of those sections. You could definitely do that. This one here, this is the product square grid block, which is one of my favorite blocks that we've produced. You can create these really lovely grid layouts. And you can also do things like add a nice drop shadow, which is this little option here. And again, you can change the grid gap and all sorts of whizzy stuff. So hopefully you can see how customizable all these blocks are. And again, you can choose which products to show here. I've picked some out. Now this section further on down here, all we've got here is 2 columns where I've added some text, a heading, this is the heading block, and a photo. So again, quite simple. And then finally on down here, I've done the same thing really, but I've added a background color. Now the other useful thing you can do with Gutenberg is you can make these blocks reusable, which I showed you last week. So that's what I've created this section here and then saved it as a reusable block. And the benefit of that is it means that then I can use that in different places within my site. So you'll see here, if I scroll down, I've also got it down here. So I don't have to recreate it every time. If I was creating a new page, I would be able to go to reusable blocks here, which I found at the bottom. And then the one I've created was that one. So I don't have to go off and recreate it. You can just save them to a library and then call them in, which is great for things like if you're running sales or you want to have calls to action throughout your site. Save you time.
If you change one of them, do they change wherever they are?
It gives you the choice. So yeah, you'll have a master.
Yeah.
But you can also convert it to regular blocks.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you can edit it. You can also export these as well and reuse them between different sites.
Yeah. Okay. So if you had a bit of text that you wanted to put, say, on 20 different pages, but you then wanted to actually change that text, but not go to every one of the 20 pages.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's cool. Right now, that page I've created. I've used a lot of storefront blocks, but you could, if you didn't want the layouts that I'm showing you, you could just use the core WooCommerce blocks. If you're happy with a normal sort of grid layout, you don't have to get an additional plugin. You can just stick with what comes with WooCommerce. But I think some of this stuff looks really pro and gives you some extra value. But that's because I built them. So that's my view. Okay, so that's how you can edit the shop page. Next up, this is how you can customize category pages. Now again, category pages are really, really important, but normally they will all look the same. They will all generally look like, so I've got 2 examples here. This is one that hasn't been customized. This is generally what they'll look like. So you might have the opportunity to put a bit of text in, and then it will just filter these products in a grid by category, which is fine. But you don't have any control over adding extra text, or just improving the user experience or your customer when they approach it. So here's one I have customized, which I think looks, you know, a lot more professional, a lot nicer in terms of enticing for your customers. So again, this is all built using blocks, and I'll show you how I did this. So this section up here, this is just using the core cover block that comes with Gutenberg. And then if I scroll down, you'll see I've just added a heading block and a paragraph block. This is the Storefront Blocks square grid block. I've just picked out 3 products. And then down here, I've got some other blocks. This is the masonry product block, which again is part of Storefront Blocks. And then further on down here, I've got a slider block, which again is a block within Storefront Blocks. And then I've got this bit of text at the bottom. Now, again, you can lay out this page however you like. But to actually, I'll show you how I set this as the normal category page. So let me just show you, in fact, let me show you that first. So if I go to the dashboard, sorry, let me go back a step. So there are 2 steps to get this to work. The first step is you build your new page. And this is just a normal page. So you go add new page and you lay out your page however you like. And I've created a page around men's fashion. So I'm going to bring men's products into this page. So you'll see at the top here, all I've got is a cover block. And I've added some text and a background image. And I've made this parallax effect by just turning on fixed parallax, fixed background here. Down here, I've got this block here, which is the product square grid block. And I've just added a few products to it. Okay. And I've changed the layout to say I only want 1 row. That's why I've only got 3 products showing. And then under here, I've got a heading block, a paragraph block. And this block here is the masonry product grid block, which again is part of Storefront Blocks. But if you wanted to, you could use the core WooCommerce Blocks for this. And then further on down here, I've got the slider block. So this is the product slider block, part of Storefront Blocks again. And then finally down here, I've just got this 2 columns with some text in and a photo. So it's all built using blocks. So that's the first step. You build that page. And the important bit is hit this though. So if I go to dashboard and then categories. So the next step is you have to direct your normal category page to that new page. So you're going to direct the normal page that WooCommerce will create for you, which you have no control over, to your brand new super duper page. And you do that per category. So this is the one I've done already. You just click on edit. This is men. And the important bit is down here. Can you see we've got this redirect URL? And what you do is you pop in the URL of the new page that you've just built into that space. And that means the normal WooCommerce category page won't load. It'll load your brand new super duper page. And that's how I created this page here.
Can you, that redirect page, does it have to be an absolute reference or can it be relative? So if you're using staging, for example, to about, could you, obviously that staging doesn't work if you've got an absolute reference in there.
Yeah, that's a good question, Stuart. Yeah, it's absolute at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a permanent 301 as well. So it'll be fine in terms of SEO.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. The big benefit, I mean, there's 2 big benefits of doing this for your category pages. One, they'll look, you know, you'll have more control over the design. So hopefully you'll agree this looks better.
Brilliant.
Yeah, much better in my view.
I've spent hours trying to do something like this.
Cool.
I can't believe it's this easy with this.
Good. Yeah, so I think it looks much better. And also you'll have a huge advantage in terms of SEO, because obviously you can put more content on these pages. And these are going to be some of your key pages. If you look at the normal WooCommerce category page, this is pretty much it in terms of the content you can write. Okay. You can't add anything down here. You just have this space here, and not all themes will show this. This text is actually coming from, let me show you where this text is generated from. It's in product categories here. And in each category, let's go to women. You see this description here? That's where that text is coming from. So you can see you've got absolutely no control over the formatting of that text or where it goes on that page. It just spits it out right at the top here. So you're going to have some big benefits if you can customize each category page that you produce. Okay. Cool. So that's category pages. Next up are product pages. So again, the normal WooCommerce product page will generally all look the same. They'll have a little picture of the product on the left, and they'll have a product description on the right with an add to cart button. 99.9% of websites will look like that. But that small little image or that layout isn't always appropriate for every product that you're going to be selling. Like if you're selling, you know, holidays in the Maldives, you don't want a tiny little thumbnail image on the left. So having control over these pages, or to be able to design them using the Gutenberg editor, can be a really, really big advantage for you. And that's where this plugin, this is a plugin of ours again, which is called WooBuilder Blocks, comes in. So what WooBuilder Blocks allows you to do is to use the Gutenberg editor to design and lay out your product pages. Okay, and I'm going to show you how it works. So I've already created one here using it, which is this one here. So here's an example of one. And can you see how the product image is actually set behind the product information? And then again, we can lay out this page because we're using Gutenberg to lay this page out any way we like. Whereas the normal WooCommerce product page will generally look like this, which is fine in a lot of circumstances. But sometimes you might want to have a video there, or you might want to have a bigger product image, or you might just want to get across your brand in a more exciting way. Let me just show you some other examples of some products that I've built using as examples of using this WooBuilder Blocks, and then I'll show you how it works. So here's one. We've got a much bigger product image, and we've got this smaller section over here, which is description, because the product image is much more important than the text in this case. This is a cover one, which is the one I just showed you, really, another example. The other great thing about this is you can also have control over the section underneath. So often that section underneath might show related products. Whereas with this, you can absolutely be very precise about what you show underneath the main product. This is a video example here. We're actually using a video over here on the right. And then your product description on the left. That's pretty cool. Let me go here. This one just is a product that has a much sort of minimalistic idea. Very elegant, minimalistic layout. You can add multiple pictures to it. Like this example, if you want to show different versions straight up in a bigger way of your products, might be front and back or side. This is a carousel where you can actually add carousels into your product images, into your products. This is just a block again, so it's very simple to use. This is one that uses a third-party plugin, which is, in fact, somebody emailed me to ask me about this, I think. This is using product variations. This is a plugin by James over at Iconic WP that does these little swatches. But it works with our WooBuilder Blocks plugin, so it's pretty whizzy. And then this is an example of it using with product add-ons, which is a plugin that WooCommerce built that lets you add extra fields into your products. So this one, for example, we've got this extra field, which is, would you like this item gift wrapped? And you just get this little text box and then the price adjusters. Okay, so that's just a few examples. Let me show you the basics on how this works. And we're going to use this product here as an example. So I'm going to go to edit products. Now, this site has already got the WooBuilder Blocks plugin installed on it. And so at the moment, this is just a normal WooCommerce product. There's nothing special about it. But can you see over on the right here, we've got enable WooBuilder Blocks. What that allows us to do is to turn this product into a Gutenberg product. So you just click on that, and then it's going to give you some choices. It's going to ask you whether you want to start completely from scratch, start from a pre-built template. So we've built a number of templates that you can just click on and it'll pre-build your product. Or you can build your own templates and save them, and then you call these into this product if you want to. I'm just going to start from scratch though. So you just click on that. And what we've essentially done is we've atomized the components of a product. So this is what you start with. but you see I'm now using Gutenberg. Okay, so I can now reconstruct this. Sorry about this. I can now reconstruct this product. Let me just go back to view here. Using the Gutenberg editor. Now, if I click on the plus sign, you'll see we've got this new thing here, which is WooBuilder. So these are all the blocks that we've built that let you reconstruct this product. So you'll see we've got all the main components of the product, the normal product page. So you've got a product title, you've got short description in here, you've got add to cart button, you've got the product image. So now you could insert a grid layout and then bring these components into each section of your grid. I'm just going to show you quickly this WooBuilder cover option here. So what this does, it brings in your product information. It's a bit like the cover block, and then you see it's put certain information in automatically for me. So it's a bit like a template. This is my product title block, and you'll see it over here. And then each block also has its own options to customize it. So if you want to move these around, you can just change the alignment over here on the left. Now again, because we're using blocks, we could add blocks within blocks. So if I wanted to add a column within this, I could do that. If I want to delete one, I could do that as well. Okay, so that's the cover block. But what you could equally do, you could add a column block to start with. Let me go back here and remove this. You could add a column block. Choose your layout that you wanted. Let me just do 2 columns, and then start to rebuild your product page layout however you like within this grid layout that you're building. So you might add a product title, which is here, and then you can change the size of it if you want to, or the color of it, or the font of it. You get the idea. And over here, you might want to add a product image. Or a carousel. You see, that's the carousel one that I used earlier. Let me just add where's the product image gone? I'm going crazy. There we go, that one. Yeah, so that'll bring the product image into that space. And you might want to bring your short description in over here. Well, hopefully you get the idea that you can start to lay out these products however you like. You might want to add to cart button underneath here as well. So you've got no restrictions on how you lay out this product. Okay.
That is awesome. Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it is.
I've been trying to do this for God knows how long.
Let me just show you one of the templates here. So we built some templates that you can start from scratch.
Jamie, just a quick question.
Yeah.
On the product page, is there any way to pull in a block with ACF data, like advanced custom fields?
Not that I know of at the moment. Are you? What's the sort of use case you're thinking of?
Well, the product is configured with specific fields of information, for example, and you want to be able to show that underneath the excerpt or the description and pull that in.
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. We've had a few people ask for it, so it's on the list, but I'd probably say no at the moment.
Awesome, because right now we do it with filters.
Yeah.
In PHP, but it'd be nice to have blocks to do it directly.
Yeah, no, for sure. So you see we built these options here, so you can just click on those, and that's a quick way to get the sort of base layout, roughly how you want it.
Where would you like to go?
Sorry, my phone's doing things. Hopefully you get the idea. Now the other thing that you can do with these, 2 more things I just want to show you quickly, just revert this to the normal editor. You can save your designs as a template and then reuse them on multiple products, which is really cool. So let me just show you that. I'm just going to start from scratch. I'll just create a very quick layout. So I'm not going to spend too long on the layout here. I'm going to add the cover block because that's going to bring quite a lot of stuff in for me. So this is the cover block. And then I'm just going to add an overlay color and change the gradient very quickly. So you get the sort of idea of what I'm doing. And in fact, there we go. So I'm not massively happy with that design, but I just want to show you how this works. So yes, what you can do, you can save that as a template. Let's call it orange overlay, and then you can apply that template to multiple products. So you're creating a template, and then when we go to all templates here, there's my template, and then to apply it, you just choose the category that you want to apply it to. So if I apply it to all women, so that I've created the template and applied that template to all products of type women. And when I go to women now, and I choose one of my products, can you see how it's actually applied that template? Now I'm not very happy with my template, but you see it's going to use, that's going to be applied to all products of type women, which is really cool. So you can create these templates and apply them to multiple products. You can also, let's say you like that template, but you want to tweak it a bit. You can actually pull that template in per product and then make changes on it. So can you see there's the template that I've actually created. I can pull that into this particular product, and it's going to pull all those settings in for me. And then I can go ahead and tweak it. So if I want to change the text, I can tweak once it's in there. So you can either use, what I'm trying to show you here is you can either use products and apply them to multiple products, or all your products, or you can use them on a per product basis as well. So it's pretty powerful stuff. I haven't got time today, but we've also built into this split testing. So we've built a split testing block, which is really cool. So you can create 2 different versions of a product using the editor, and then run it for a period of time, and it'll tell you which one is converting better than the other one. And then you can set the one that's converting better than the other one as the one you want to use. And the conversion is tracked by how many times somebody clicks the add to cart button. It's very cool. Okay, so that's how you can customize individual product pages. And then the final thing I want to show you, or the second final thing, penultimate thing, is you can also use these blocks in your posts. So on my site, we use posts to drive a lot of traffic to our site through content marketing. And the fact that you can use these blocks within your posts gives you a really big opportunity to upsell people while they're reading your content. I've just created 2 quick examples to show you of how you could use this. So on this site here, I've called it Buyer's Guide, but essentially these are posts that I'm creating. Okay, so, and this is one of the posts that I've written, 5 of the best ways to look good this summer. So this is just a normal WordPress post, but within the post, because these blocks give you the ability to embed products within your pages, you can do that. So you'll see this, we've got post content, and then if I scroll down, we've just listed 5 products. Okay, so if somebody's reading your post, you can show your products in the context of when they're reading your article, which is a great way to upsell people. Let me just go to edit post to show you this one. Okay, and again, this is just a post that we've created called the product list. It just lets you lay out your products in this nice list form, which is great in certain situations. And then the other example I want to show you is this one here. Again, it's a post. This one is Garmin Phoenix, an in-depth review post. And again, within this, we've just got this product here. Again, this is created using a block. It looks pretty cool, I think. This is this block took a long time to build. So let me show you it quickly. This is a block here, and it's the single product block. And there's a block that comes with Storefront blocks. It's just a block. Let me show you quickly. That lets you highlight a particular product. It's this one here within your store. So it starts off looking like this, but then over here on the right, you can add a background color or an image. And we built some nice functionality in here. So you can do things like, you can blur the background. Let me just remove this color here. See that background? You might want to blur it, for example. See how it's now blurred, so the text will actually pop out more from the background. So you can really start to highlight your products within your posts, which can be a really big benefit to you. Because wow, that looks kind of cool, right?
Yeah, very cool.
Thank you. That took a long time, longer than it should, but it's really powerful. So there's that. And the final thing, there is one more thing I want to show you. So what's coming, WooCommerce are developing at the moment, it's not released yet, is they are blockifying the cart and the checkout pages. Okay, so these are key pages for a lot of WooCommerce sites. And they're doing a chunk of work to turn them into Gutenberg blocks. So I'm going to show you where they've got to. So this site has got them working on. So if I go to let's go to View Basket. So this is actually a block. So you wouldn't know it, but it's actually a block. And I'll show you if I go to Edit Page. Now, at the moment, you don't have any real customization options to do with this block. You'll see when I click on it, it's this shopping cart block. So we don't have many options yet, but you can kind of see that you will have, and this is where WooCommerce are going to go with this stuff. They're going to want to give people much more control over these this cart page, and there is also a block for the checkout, which I'll show you. Let's go to checkout. So this page here, now at the moment this isn't using a block, but if I go to Edit Page, you see at the moment this is how it works, but let me just delete this one. This is just a short code. But they've actually created a WooCommerce checkout block, which is this one here. Okay, and again, can you see we're starting to see some options over here on the right that you can customize some of the fields in here. So it's kind of cool stuff. So again, because at the moment when you edit some of this stuff, one of the big benefits of Gutenberg for end users and store owners is it's quite confusing when you actually edit to make changes here. The block editor is deeming to make this much easier because it's all kind of in context of where you're editing it. As you can see over here, if you want to hide add the company, you just click that and it'll show. So that's on its way. So that, I think, is me. I showed you everyone this last week, but just for those that weren't here, this is a Chrome extension called Detective Wahoo that you can put on your site. It's free. It's a free Chrome extension. And as you go to somebody's website, you click on it, and it'll tell you what blocks that site is using. So it's a really useful tool if you start to explore the block editor. I highly recommend it. It's great fun, and it's completely free. And then finally, I've got a few questions to answer. I'm giving everyone, if you want it. So I've used a few plugins. I've shown you a few of our plugins today. So if you want to try them out, actually, Storefront Blocks and WooBuilder Blocks have free trial, 14-day trials available anyway. So you can try those out for free. But if you do decide to buy them, then if you use the coupon code webinar, you'll get 25% off. So hopefully that's useful for you. And that applies to all the, we have some bundle offers as well. So that code will work across all our block-based plugins and all our bundles.
Jamie, just a quick one, because I've got to hit the post office. I've got some orders to put in the post.
Yeah.
It just covers the whole thing, just not this. When we had an HTML website, our developer used to post or put up a page before we actually put it on the site. Is there a way of doing that with WordPress, or is it just you copy the blocks and that's it, so to speak?
Do you mean before the whole site's live?
No, just when you're adding additional pages and stuff like that. I mean, I know WordPress isn't like that, but
yeah, well, you can save it as a draft,
right,
and then it won't be visible.
Okay.
So when you create a new page, you don't have to publish it. You get two options: save or publish.
Thank you.
If you just save it, then nobody will see it. But often, if you don't add it to the menu, nobody will see it anyway, frankly. But yeah, you can save it.
Cheers. Okay.
Right. I've got some questions. Let me go through. There might be too many. Let's go. There's some great questions. Let me go through those. Is there trial version? Yes, there's trial versions of Storefront Blocks and WooBuilder Blocks. So the question is, what's the difference between Storefront Pro and Storefront Blocks? Storefront Pro is our plugin that just lets you customize the Storefront theme. That's all it does. So it's only applicable if you're using the Storefront theme. This site has been built using Storefront. And what Storefront Pro does, it adds a whole bunch of extra options in the customizer here that lets you customize the layout of it. Things like primary navigation. You've got all these options where you align your text along here, which aren't in normal Storefront. They just don't come with the Storefront theme. So we basically built a whole bunch of extra options that let you change the design. In fact, let me show you quickly.
I use it. Brilliant.
Who was that?
Yeah, I use it. Yeah, I use it. It's brilliant.
Thank you. So if you want to check out what's possible with Storefront Pro, I built some live demos, and here's a few examples. You can see the sort of stuff you can do with it, but it's all just built using the Storefront theme and a lightweight plugin. Let me show you, like, this is an example. So this will look nothing like the site I've just shown you. Okay, you've got this big full screen image at the front, and so you've got this little hamburger menu, and you've got this nice pull out here. So you can create some really different looking designs. Let me show you more traditional design. And these are all built using Storefront and Storefront Pro. We've also got this really nice live search in it. So you see, as I search, you get this immediate response, which again took a long time to build. Let me just show you one more. This is quite cool. There's another example. It's got, you see how the blog page has been customized highly, but they're all just options within here, basically in the customizer. That's what Storefront Pro does. It just lets you change the design of the Storefront theme. Okay, right, next question. Can you upload customized fonts? You can, well, it depends. Normally those will come from your theme. There are plugins you can get. It depends what you mean by customized. I would generally recommend you use something like Google Fonts, I think, because they're guaranteed to work across devices. Okay, I'm not sure that fully answers your question. Hi, Jamie. Have you bought the images and text, etc., in via CMS, or are you adding manually? I am adding manually in this example, but you can with WooCommerce. You can import. You can import via CSV if you want to, or an XML file. If a product is already made, can I apply a template to the product page? Yes, you can. Absolutely. I think I showed you that, I think. People are saying nice things. Thank you very much. Ben's gone. I think the rest are a bit long. I think what we're going to do is save some of those for next week. Is that okay, chaps? Because I can't answer them too quickly. Has anyone got any other audio questions?
On templates for pages, is there any way to look through WordPress to see what pages what templates you're using on each page?
Do you mean with WooBuilder?
Yeah.
No, but it's on the list.
Okay. What about within WooCommerce itself?
To say what? Sorry, Stuart.
So let's say you had 100 pages and there were 25 that with one particular page template, another one with another 25, and you were trying to find the ones.
Yeah, no, that's the thing that we're working on next, because I've had a few people ask that. What you can see is what template, what categories have been applied. Sorry, what template has been applied to what categories.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. But yeah, that's so at the moment you go to find that, you go here, dashboard, products, all templates, but it won't tell you the product that you've used to create the template.
No. Okay.
Yeah. No. Which I wanted to. Brilliant stuff. Thank you, everyone. I hope that was useful.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you, Jamie.
Good luck. Good luck. I'll be doing.
Thank you.
I'm going to be doing more of these, so keep your eye out. If you've got any ideas for what you'd like to see, by the way, it doesn't have to be WooCommerce or it doesn't have to be Gutenberg. You know, let me know, and I'll see what I can do. But thanks everyone. Keep well.
Thanks, Jamie. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Jamie. Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie.